There are only 5 years left until it is all over for fiat currencies. See you later, dollar. Welcome to the Bitcoin standard, or maybe the Dogecoin standard. Certainly the crypto standard is coming our way. At least that is according to a recent survey of top financial executives, which is in of itself very interesting to see it. These guys are all looking and saying, yep, crypto's about to take over the show. That's crazy, man. Also in today's video, I will be looking at some on-chain indicators, examining the trends in the Bitcoin market recently, and make sure to stick around until the end of the video. I have a public service announcement for you about one man's just crippling addiction to stacking sats. My name's Lark. Every day I make videos talking about cryptocurrency investing, so if that is a topic that you would like to learn some more about, make sure you subscribe to the channel, gently tap on the thumbs up button for the YouTube algorithm, and click on the notification bell to know when I put out a new video. Now let's go ahead and turn over to the charts to get started off with today. Let's have a quick look at them here. So as we can see, Bitcoin has come up above $50,000 the other day. We did not stay there for very long, though. We were above $50,000 for some hours, which felt nice. That was good. At this time, we've seen the price retrace back down a few percentage points. And look, just have to keep this all in perspective. What has happened? We have, over the last 34 days, we saw the price of Bitcoin rise by over 70% freaking percent. It's been a pretty incredible run here for Bitcoin, with really just a few small pit stops along the way. We've had a heck of a lot of green candles over those last few weeks. We do still, though, have that bearish divergence playing out on the RSI. You can see, of course, that as the price continued to make more highs, we saw the RSI starting to falter out. Well, that is still in play until we either get a strong breakout coming up above the second green line on the chart here, or we see, of course, it breaking down. Now, after this incredible run, I still think that we are going to get some decent buying opportunities here in the not-so-distant future. I think really key areas to be watching out for would, of course, be the 200-day moving average, which is only down here around $46,000. Or, more importantly, probably, would be this area of price resistance, of course, flipping that from resistance into an area of support. That's around $42,500. Now, it also happens to coincide with where the 20-week simple moving average is. And I just want to say this, after such an incredible run-up, that kind of correction would actually be kind of healthy to retest these key lines, help us get a good base for launching the rocket ship higher. Time will tell if we get that kind of correction coming in or not, obviously, but I'm definitely watching out to add to positions if we do get a bit of a pullback like that. So we'll see how it plays out here in the coming days, but it's been an incredible run so far for Bitcoin. By the way, every single week, my team and I produce Wealth Mastery. This is a cryptocurrency investor report. Every single issue, you're going to get a deep dive altcoin report, trending coin analysis, the latest token sales, the hottest airdrops, a step-by-step DeFi tutorial, top-tier technical analysis, an interview with an industry leader, and much, much more. So much going on. Massive amount of value, all for less than $10 a week. Meaning this is the most affordable and at the same time the most value-packed investor report on the market. Use the link down below in the description where you can learn more and become a member today. Now let's talk about on-chain data, because it's showing some very interesting things at the moment. So this is accumulation trends. So the redder it goes, the darker colors here, the redder it goes, it basically indicates a wider variety of groups accumulating crypto, particularly Bitcoin. So what we're seeing here, so this was the peak, right? When we got up to $65,000. Who was buying Bitcoin then? Smaller accounts. People buying a couple $100 worth of Bitcoin, a couple $1,000s worth of Bitcoin. You saw very, very little activity up in this area from big accounts, but you did see a lot of activity from bigger accounts. Of course, at the end of 2020, you saw a lot of big buys happening. Those bigger buys kept happening right up through until we crossed over the $50,000 range, at which point the really big money was not buying as much Bitcoin. Now, what's interesting is that the small accounts, they kept buying right throughout the price collapse. But right here, something very interesting happened. We started seeing big money start to get interested in Bitcoin again. So we've seen really just this entire rally for Bitcoin has been accompanied by a lot of buyers from right across the spectrum. So a huge amount of people accumulating Bitcoin, including larger accounts at the moment. So that is very interesting to see. We can also have a look here. This chart shows you who has been buying and who has been selling based on addresses. So you can see the mega whale accounts, that is people with 1 to 10,000 Bitcoin. The mega whale accounts, those guys have been buying Bitcoin. In fact, they've been some of the biggest buyers of Bitcoin over the last few weeks, which is pretty incredible. And also you have accounts with 10 Bitcoin or less, which have been adding to their Bitcoin stacks as well. You can see lots of buying going on in that area. Now, the only people who've been selling Bitcoin, because there are sellers, has primarily been those with 10 to 100 Bitcoin or 100 to 1,000 Bitcoin. So a lot of these guys have actually been taking profits over this recent run. So even if most of the market participants right now are accumulating more Bitcoin, we still do have some sellers in the market right now. We have those guys with between 10 and 100 and 100 and 1,000 Bitcoin who have been taking profits. So we have seen moderate inflows of Bitcoin into exchanges over the last few days. Now, it's nothing epic, right? Not everyone's not running for the exits. That's exactly what we saw, of course, here back in May, where the price started to collapse. Massive inflows of Bitcoin as people, started running for the exits, basically. This inflow here, it looks much more, of course, like something here or here or here or here or here, where basically we see a big inflow of Bitcoin into exchanges, followed by a moderate price correction. So we've seen that happen quite a bit. And of course, as the price gets pushed down, what do you see? Of course, you see outflows from exchanges as people step up and buy the dips, which you didn't really see happening here very much when everybody was running for the exits. Yeah, there were some buyers, but for the most part, people were still in a state of shock and people were not ready to really commit yet to that. And we had our final capitulation event happen right here. We had a massive inflow of Bitcoin to exchanges. That brought us down to around $29,000. That also then coincided with a major market reversal. The dip buying went pretty gosh darn crazy there. And of course, now we're up at a situation again where we are seeing some profits being taken. And it's right across the board too. It's not just new money cashing out. We are seeing older hands also spending up some of their Bitcoin. So we see new accounts, mid accounts, older accounts. You can see that general rise across the board here of some people taking profits. Now that leads me to this, is we are in a disbelief phase for Bitcoin right now. We've talked about this before, but basically this is the futures perpetual funding rate across all exchanges. You can see how bullish people were back here, right, earlier in the year. During our bear trend, that big capitulation event that happened, we saw funding rates fall down quite a bit, but we've seen those picking up recently with the market action, but it hasn't got dramatic, it hasn't got crazy. I mean, look at where we are here versus where we were back here. So that says to me that we still have a lot of people who are not believing that we're going to have this second bull phase in the market. People are exiting positions. This is where you're getting all these different account holders saying, you know what, I'm going to take some profits here. And maybe they're not selling all their positions, but they're definitely sending that Bitcoin into exchanges and cashing a little bit out right now on this recent pump up to 50K. Now, let's get into the news here. I'll put myself back on the screen real quick. So this is the big story that crypto assets could replace fiat currencies within as little as 5 years. That is according to a recent survey by Deloitte, which was one of the big accounting firms in the world. And of course, they talked to a bunch of financial executives. Now, this is very, very, very interesting information. By the way, it was the majority of financial executives, too. 76% said that they believe digital assets would be a strong alternative or replace fiat in the next 5 to 10 years. That is some mind-blowing information right there. So essentially, all these guys are sitting around looking at the printing that's happening with fiat currencies. These guys are running big companies, right? They're facing real negative rates in Europe where basically you put 10 million euros in the bank and every year they're taking out 1% of that and it's just gone. That sucks. These companies know what's up. These financial executives have to deal with this stuff as a reality all the time. And maybe, okay, well, they're keeping their money in dollars. Well, the dollar, the US dollar, has been printed like crazy over the last year. And of course, they're continuing to print more money, continuing to take on more debt. Inflation rates are going crazy. These guys see the writing is on the wall. That's why you have so many financial institutions rushing to make their crypto plays. We've seen this with so many banks adopting a crypto trading desk or offering cryptocurrency to their clients. We see Bitcoin funds being offered all over the place, Bitcoin funds growing in value. We see Bitcoin ETF products coming to major markets like Canada. We will have Bitcoin ETF products coming soon to the USA as well. These guys know what the heck is up. We are seeing a massive fundamental shift in technology here. This is the next big boom, the newest asset class, and it's just going freaking crazy. I mean, if you've been a crypto investor for the past few years, chances are you've totally changed your financial situation by having been an investor in cryptocurrencies. Look down the road a little bit farther. So many people get caught up they can't see the forest from the trees. The big picture of what's going on in crypto, we're completely revolutionizing all financial markets. Digital ownership, value transfer, savings, borrowing, lending, all this stuff is going to get revolutionized. Stocks, bonds, real estate, everything going on the blockchain. Everything run out of your wallet, on your phone. It's exciting times. And the financial opportunity for the companies that get it right, these financial executives that want to hop on board this train, they understand what's going on, will be massive. Any companies getting into crypto, making crypto plays right now, very, very clever. Anyone's doing it in 5 years, not as clever, bit late to the party. Any company which by 2030 hasn't made a serious crypto play, either adding crypto to their balance sheet or offering cryptocurrency products, whatever it might be, they're going to get blockbustered. Totally behind the times. And the crazy thing about this is not just, you don't have to be a financial company in order to buy and hold Bitcoin or other assets. Everybody is doing it. Tesla is not a financial company, but they bought a truckload of Bitcoin. We also had a pretty crazy story the other day. Visa bought a CryptoPunk NFT. Budweiser, the beer company, today they bought the Ethereum domain name beer.eth. We're seeing it happen. We're seeing all these companies playing around with this stuff. They're launching NFTs. Celebs are launching NFTs. Companies are starting to accept cryptocurrencies as payments. Banks are starting to offer it to their customers. We are on the cusp of an expansion of incredible proportions here. If the adoption curve for Bitcoin continues as is, we're going to be to 1 billion users in just a few more years' time, which is crazy. And of course, Bitcoin's the tip of the spear. Where's Ethereum going to be? Where's everything else going to be by that time? Very, very exciting stuff. I mean, man, being a cryptocurrency investor right now, I know the market's been crazy sometimes, but you are still pretty damn early. You're not super early, but you're still going to beat most people to the party if you're investing in crypto right now. And the final story, the public service announcement about having an addiction to stacking sats. Michael Saylor's MicroStrategy has purchased another 3,907 Bitcoin for $177 million. MicroStrategy now holds 108,992 Bitcoin. Their average price, $26,769. That is the power of dollar cost averaging in. They just keep buying and buying and buying and buying and buying. Incredible, incredible stuff here. Once you start stacking, you can't stop. It is addictive. It is addictive. Get more Bitcoin. Get more Bitcoin. It's very, very cool to see a company like this, of course, just doubling down and doubling down and doubling down. But also, I think it's really important to point out the power of dollar cost averaging. You buy a little bit every week. You stack those sats. $50 a Bitcoin a week, $100 a Bitcoin a week, whatever your number might be. You're trading bad money, which is a highly inflationary dollars governed by politicians, for good money, which is capped Bitcoin run by mathematics. The choice long term is obvious. Your dollars are going to keep losing value. Inflation's going to keep driving the value of your fiat currency into the ground. Bitcoin, it's only going to keep rising. And look, I know Bitcoin's at a, nearly $1 trillion market cap at the moment. You have to keep in mind how high Bitcoin can go from here. But even if it does another 10x over the next decade, that's amazing, because your dollars over the next decade are probably going to lose between 30 to 50% of their purchasing power, whereas the Bitcoin is going to give you 10x the purchasing power. This is why we stack sats. Michael Saylor, man, one of us. Love it. I love it. Super, super bullish to see him just continuing to just go hardcore, stacking up those sats. Warning, buying Bitcoin, it's addictive. Anyway, just my 2 Satoshis for the day. Your question, do you agree with this idea that in 5 years' time, we could see cryptocurrencies replacing fiat currencies? Pretty bold statement, actually, from these financial executives. Maybe it's going to take a bit longer. Maybe it's going to take 10 or 20 years. Be curious to know your opinion down below in the comments section. Thank you so much for watching today's video, and peace out till next time.